The case of Crookes and Newton provides a legal interpretation of the publication element of defamation. The Canadian Supreme Court decision held that the provision of hyperlinks to online defamatory material cannot amount to a publication in an action for defamation. In this case, Mr. Crookes sued Mr. Newton for defamation after he refused to remove a pair of links on his website. These links pointed to materials located elsewhere on the web that the plaintiff alleged were defamatory. The materials were not authored by Mr. Newton, nor even located anywhere on Mr. Newton's website. Thus, the question arose as to whether the provisions of hyperlinks to defamatory material would satisfy both of the elements of publication needed for a successful defamation action. To prove the publication element of defamation, a plaintiff must establish that the defendant has, by any act, conveyed defamatory meaning to a single third party who has received it. The majority found that hyperlinks are, in essence, references, which are fundamentally different from other acts of publication. Hyperlinks and references communicate that material exists but do not by themselves communicate its content. Hyperlinks require an act on behalf of a third party before the third party can gain access to the content. Hyperlinks are in essence content neutral and provide the author with no control over the content in the secondary article to which they have linked. A hyperlink by itself should not be seen as a publication of the content to which it refers, rather it is the actual creator or poster of the defamatory material who should be considered liable. The court found that it should be only when the hyperlinker presents the content from the hyperlinked material in a way that repeats the defamatory material can that content be considered published by the hyperlinker. In this case, there was nothing on Newton's webpage that on its own could be considered defamatory. Therefore, the use of the hyperlink on his page cannot amount to a publication, even if the hyperlink is followed by a third party. The majority judgment also noted that to create the presumption of liability for all hyperlinks would seriously restrict the flow of information on the internet and consequently restrict freedom of expression. Furthermore, given the core significance of the role of hyperlinks to the internet, the liability presumption would impair its whole functioning. Chief Justice McLaughlin and Justice Fish provided a slightly different interpretation of hyperlinks amounting to publication. Although they substantially agreed with the reasons of the majority, they added that where the text that includes the hyperlink constitutes an adoption or an endorsement of the specific content it links to, then the hyperlink should constitute a publication. They also specified this as a clear distinction from a mere general reference to a website, which is not enough to constitute a publication. The concluding judgment by Justice Deschamps held that the ordinary test of publication should still apply to hyperlinking. That is, that hyperlinks can constitute a publication if the provision of the hyperlinks is a deliberate act and makes the content readily available to the third party in comprehensible form. All justices concurred in the result of the judgment that the appeal itself should be dismissed. However, it was the reasoning of the majority judgment that hyperlinks are content neutral that will protect users and intermediaries in the future. The decision in Crookes and Newton has provided a safe space for the internet to continue. Links among websites create the fabric of the web and play a pivotal role in social media as users rapidly share links amongst each other. To hold intermediaries liable for hosting hyperlinks that may refer to defamatory material would not be sustainable and likely result in a loss of intermediary websites. This would affect all internet users across the globe and restrict access of information. The threat of liability for the mere posting of a link both for the individual user and the intermediary host website would unnecessarily chill the further development of online media and social spaces and consequently restrict freedom of expression.